I think one of the most important things that you can do with your notes is save the ideas that you have. It's a really tragic feeling when you feel like you have that idea of a lifetime. Maybe you're in the shower or you're about to fall asleep. And then by the time you get out or you wake up, you no longer remember it. And, maybe it's not the once in a lifetime idea, but it really hurts if you feel like you've come up with something and then you lose it. So I'm going to show you how to save all of your ideas very quickly and easily so that you will just do it immediately as soon as you have them. And then I'm going to show you how to organize them so that they don't get lost within your notes. So the first thing I want to go over is using the daily note for this. Now, there's a lot of functions and benefits of using a daily note format. One of the benefits for me is that I use it as my day-to-day scratch pad. So I first dump everything into my daily note, and then I know I can organize it from there, but the idea is also then attached to that day. So in my most basic form, that's my biggest piece of advice is just put your ideas in the daily note as soon as you have them. And, you can do that on the mobile phone, and you can also do it using your voice, which I often do. So on the desktop, I could just record here. If I have a new video idea for Reflect, I know that wasn't an actual idea, but I can just transcribe that and then it will land here in my daily note. Similarly, I can record the audio note on my mobile device and it will just spit it out in my daily note as well. So that's kind of the first two things. One, use the daily note format. And two, if you just record voice notes, it just dumps it immediately into your daily note. So if you're in the shower, I actually take my phone in the shower with me because I listen to podcasts and stuff that I don't know if that's healthy, but you could just kind of quickly, hit the button. You can set up a widget on the home screen so that you can just do it with one tap and then just record the idea and you can forget about it for that moment in time, which is actually pretty nice because then you can also continue your thought process because maybe you had the original idea, but you don't want to stop there. Maybe you want to keep thinking about it, but also record the idea. So this method's really nice for that because it doesn't really interrupt your process at all. You can just record it and then it's here sitting in your daily note to deal with later. Okay, so that's kind of how I record them, but that's the simple part. So how do I organize them? Well, the first thing I'm going to go over a couple methods here, and I should warn you, I'm pretty sure my old method was more technically correct, or I don't know, probably more correct in terms of organization. But one thing that's true across both of the methods is to set up an ideas page and then pin it so that you can easily access it here. And as you see that, you might be wondering why I don't just go in and write the idea directly in the ideas page. And that's really just because it adds slightly more friction. For one, if I record an audio note, it will land on my daily note. But also, if I have to, either come into my note taking app or go on my phone and then open Reflect and then, go into a separate note for ideas and then go find the section, that's just like too much friction. By that point, I might have lost the idea and I have lost my train of thought. So, I have the idea sheet, but that's for me to organize ideas into later. So here I have a sample one. This isn't actually my full one because this is a demo brain that's kind of fake. But I have several main categories here. So I've got Reflect, which is my main work. Maybe I've got some side projects and then articles because I like to write. Yours are going to differ. Maybe you have social media posts. I should actually probably have one for like Twitter and LinkedIn because I'm trying to post there more. But whatever you're working on, have your categories and then you can organize them within there. So I did a couple examples here. Again, this isn't my real ideas sheet because it, of course, didn't want to give away all of my brilliant ideas. But for Reflect, I usually have two categories. I have growth ideas and I have video ideas. For side projects, I usually just list them as a list. And for articles, I kind of just write them and, if I have a description, I can include that. It's not really very official. But this is really nice because then if I say need something to write next week, I can just come into the idea sheet and look for articles. Or if I find myself having more time and I want to start a new side project or evaluate, what I want to work on long term, I can go into my side project lists and, rank them. And actually for my side projects, I moved these to a spreadsheet, but that's a whole different story. So let me kind of go over an example. So let's say, I'll delete this here. You can pretend these are all audio notes. I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me transcribe things, but so let's say I have a video idea for Reflect on how to save ideas. The original way that I did it is that I would add a tag here. And if it's a growth idea, I would literally say growth idea. And then I would say for Reflect. And then I would just put the idea. Oh wait, did I say it was going to be a video idea? Yeah. Okay. So that should be video idea, but maybe it's a growth idea for Reflect, and I'm testing a referral program right now. So maybe we want to say, uh, test out a referral program. And then maybe, it was a different one where I had an article idea. But I guess I should actually mention I usually don't add the tag there right away. So I should do this a bit more organically. So if I have an article idea, what's an article idea that I can use as an example? Let's say, I think the other one that I had in there was how to build discipline. So I'll just say how to build discipline. And then I'll let this sit here kind of until I'm ready to revisit it. But I live out of my daily notes each day. So when I'm ready, I will then go in here and I will say article idea. Oops. I don't have that tag created because, again, this is not my real graph. And if I have multiple projects, I could say for my blog, and I would backlink whatever my blog's name is. So yeah, you can kind of use that system for any idea. And then that's how I first organize it on the daily note. And then the benefit here is that before I even do anything else, before I move it to my ideas pinned note, I can go to the all notes page. And if I want to pull up my article ideas, I can click on the tag and select a list of the ideas. Even better, I could go into the advanced search. And if I've got a bunch of growth ideas, I don't, it's just the one here, but I could then go in and chat with my results and say, like what's a good growth idea that I could try? And ideally, if you want to put in more information, the more rich the chat's going to be and whatnot. So that's kind of another side territory. We're not going to go through sort of like what to do with the ideas. We're just going to organize them right here. But that's the benefit of adding the tag for me, is that I can pull up a list of the ideas and I can also chat with them. Now, the reason, if you haven't figured it out yet, that I like to add not tags, backlinks here, is because then I can actually go into Reflect and associate those with my notes. Similarly, that's why I like to keep them in the daily note here, which I usually do now. So this is kind of where my old system differs from the new one. So I think the correct way to do this is to leave it in your daily note. And that's because then if I want to see the association of the day that I had that idea on, I still have that there and it's connected to that day. Whereas if I do what I honestly oftentimes do and I cut this out and then go in here, and that would be under Reflect, and I would paste it here. And then now I can delete this, and organize that however I want. And now I kind of have these listed in the sheet here, but the downside is that if I cut this out, it doesn't exist on this page anymore. So the reason I do that is because I've developed a system where I go through and I know if this is sitting here in my daily note that I haven't organized it yet. And that's why I say the system, I think, is a little bit incorrect, because I do lose the association with that day. So what I'll do today, I oftentimes actually will then turn this into a checkbox, because that's something that I need to do. And what I need to do about that is actually take this and copy it over to the ideas sheet. So if it's an article idea for my blog, honestly, I would probably just copy that part. And then I would go into ideas, and under articles, it's already there, but pretend it's not. And I'll paste that there, how to build discipline. And so then again, I could kind of check this off. And that is probably the correct way to do it, because then you still have this listing on your day, but just make sure that when you go into your ideas sheet, you remove that tag, because otherwise that tag will show up in two notes for the same idea, which I don't really like. That kind of bugs me. So you can see there's a little bit of flexibility here in whatever your workflow is. You honestly wouldn't have to use tags at all. If you wanted to, you could even you could just use the ideas sheet. So maybe I could say idea for Reflect, and then I can list the growth idea. And you'll notice too, I can do that because I created an alias for ideas. And that's so I can do just what I did there if I want to. It would be awkward to say ideas for Reflect with the emoji. I just want to say idea. So I created an alias there. Anyway, that's kind of how I organize things. So I use both of my methods there. If I really were to recommend one, I would recommend doing Yeah, this method here where you put the idea. So let me actually kind of go through it to conclude here. So I would come in here, probably take a note and say, I'm not going to transcribe it, but I have an idea for an article where I write about how to build uh, discipline. Cool. So that would maybe come from my audio note. It would maybe be under the audio note backlinked, whatever. And then when I have some time to organize it, I'll come in here and I'm going to first add an article idea tag. And again, I don't have multiple. Well, actually, I guess I could do it for Reflect versus my personal blog. So I'll say article idea for my blog and then associated with that day. If I wanted to, I could clean up the sentence here, where it's just how to build discipline. And then again, just because I like this page, it's optional. But I would then copy this section here and go into the ideas page and paste it there. You don't have to do that at all because again, you could just pull up a list of your ideas using the tag, but kind of like to have all of my ideas in the sheet here. Makes me generate more, I guess, or maybe even just feel accomplished for generating them. So that's sort of my process. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment. And I bet people have other methods here for ideas. So I would love to hear if anyone's doing something different and Reflect for this.